Alright, gang. I did some wheeling and dealing and made a trade for this 95 Nissan Pathfinder xev6. It's a 5-speed. Had new tires with it. The guy sold it because he was losing his storage. So, unfortunately, it's missing some interior panels, which isn't really a big deal. Like the door panel's missing. Panel back there is missing. The roof is missing. And these guys here are missing. Guys, you can never see anything with the bright sunlight on you. The door pulls. So one of the negative features, and it's got 228,000 miles. One of the negative features of this car is that flashing light. It's not the engine, because this is a exhaust. Emissions test is from the exhaust, not OBD. But one of the big problems with this car is this alarm system. And that switch is supposed to be part of it, but that switch isn't part of it. It's supposed to be, but it's not. So what'll happen is the car will just, sometimes the horn will go off and make weird sounds, and then shut the whole car down. You can't start it. The other day, I was playing with this guy here, up and down, and the alarm came on, horn came on, and to shut it off, I just started the car. Well, today, I put the key in the ignition and then got in, and then the car shut itself off. So yeah, lots of fun. And when I first got the thing, this all worked. All windows up and down, except for that one. That one didn't work. Very strange. So I undid these terminals, so at least I'd be able to get in the car without it locking me out. But I will say this, what has worked to get the car to start when it goes into this alarm mode, which disables the car. Luckily, it doesn't disable the car when you're driving down the road like this BMW behind me. We'll look at that too. So online it said that there was 2 horn fuses in here. Well, there is not 2 horn fuses to disable. And then it said underneath here was some cables for the harness that you could undo, and that would undo it. Well, that didn't do it either. And then let's take a look here if we can. It said if I could disable that, I might be able to disable the alarm, but I gotta have to pull the seat to do that. So fun never ends. So what I did learn just from trial and error to disable this alarm just to start the car is to not just undo the negative terminal, but also the positive terminal. So if it disables you and you can't start the car, pull both of these terminals off, wait about 2, 3, 4 minutes, and then put them back on. You can put the negative first, the positive first, whatever you want, doesn't matter. But take them both off, let it sit, then put them both on, and it should start. This is otherwise the engine seems to be in really good shape. Yeah, one thing you'll notice is brake fluid has to be swapped out. You should always have clear brake fluid. Engine oil was clear. Coolant was fine. Every Nissan's always missing that one, that cap. And then power steering was fine. has excellent power steering, but if you get stranded because the alarm shuts the car down, don't fuck with all that other shit I just mentioned, because it won't work. Just pull these two terminals, let it sit with the terminals off, and then put the terminals back on, and you should be able to start it again. So the fun never ends. Now let's take a look at something here. Okay, so we're done looking at this guy. Wonderful tires. They're like 45 pounds. It says 50 psi, but I just did it to 45. And then I went through and did some touch-up paint just to get it to look a little neater. Oh, and then another thing it said was that if you put your key in the door ignition or the rear door ignition and turned it like you did in a, say, a Mercedes 560, that would turn the alarm off. Well, that did not do anything. This car will randomly lock the rear door. It'll randomly lock the rear window. But that feature of turning the key clockwise, that didn't do anything. But officially, that is the statement from the Nissan people, is that a key in rear door or the key here. But this has been monkeyed with, so that feature don't work. Yeah, okay, so let's walk back here. The 560 over there, fuck, bulletproof. Just got to work the gauges. That's gonna be a fun job. But let's look here. I'm always telling you guys, get yourself a C-Tech charger. There's probably an even newer one now than the 7002, but you see that takes a normal battery. Normally this car would take the that yellow top battery in the picture there, the glass battery, but they're just junk. I don't like those. But let's see we're all plugged in. See that guy right there? See that screw in there? This car, when I first got it, would just randomly shut down. You couldn't start the fucking car. You'd have to come back here and monkey with those terminals, push, pull, rotate them back and forth, and then it would let you start the car. And then one day, I was coming back from a friend's place in the middle of a fucking rainstorm, and I hit some sort of, I don't know what the fuck it was. It wasn't a cat or a dog, but it was some sort of a piece of wood or something. Next thing you know, I'm in this rainstorm, and the car has shut itself down. Just completely shut itself down. I was lucky I didn't have some person behind me slam into the back of me. So I researched online, and that is a fuse. That whole thing is a fuse. It's a big long cable, and I'm not going to swap out the whole cable. So some very brilliant individual pointed out, well, just go ahead and drill it and put a screw in it, tap it like that. So it's a regular terminal now. I would tell anybody that has a BMW to do that, because you could get killed from that feature. It's for people that get in collisions and the car rolls over to shut the car off, but it's not a safe feature by any means. I just run these acid batteries because for me they last longer. That battery there is the same one. It's a FPV made by AC Delco, real high quality battery. I would always pay more and get that. All that Die Hard, Excite, all that shit, Duralast, they're all junk. Don't buy them unless you're gonna get a charger like this and have them always charged, because they just don't last. But anyway, so there we are. Beautiful car. It's missing this guy here for the rear tire. Somebody boned that off of it, and I just spray painted that black on there because that bumper was fucked up. At some point probably just replace it, but hey, there it is. And yeah, but what an oddball feature. It would just let's see if it'll do that now. It should just let me run the car. So we turn the key off, but if you leave that key in long and it makes that beep noise, it will it'll shut the car off. And there's that flashing light that says engine light, but it's not an engine light. It's actually this alarm light, that the alarm is fucked up. So, you know, you look on the internet and you're always hoping that somebody will tell you something truthful or something accurate. No, it's a guessing game. So, and it's a 5-speed. I would never own an automatic in these Nissans. They're just blow apart transmissions. So yeah, I just need that door panel. And then I need that panel back there in the back, and then that panel across the top, that big long one, 6-footer for this car. And you know, you get used to these little hard bodies, and man, they're just wonderful cars. I mean, I don't, if Nissan didn't have this alarm feature in this car, I would give it a 10, because it drives like a sports car. It drives better than a 356 Porsche, almost as well as like an old school Alfa Romeo. Yeah, unfortunately people didn't maintain them, and they just ended up in wrecking yards. But just an absolutely wonderful car. Yeah, other than this goddamn alarm thing, it's damn near perfect, you know. And you know, any vehicle is going to last you incredibly long periods of times, up to 500,000 plus miles, if you're willing to service it, if you're willing to change your oil, your brake fluid, your coolant, because you get that coolant, it's got the rust in there, and the heat over time destroys the coolant's property to cool, right? Becomes basically melted ice, becomes water, and it's about useless. So that's very important. If you put a lot of miles on a vehicle, change those fluids regularly. If your oil or your brake fluid is dark like that, change it, because that darkness is like a dirt particulate that works like a sandblaster in your engine and in your brakes. It just destroys the inner environment, let's call it. Just like if you eat a high sugar diet, that sugar will make the interior of your blood vessels sticky, and there you got vascular disease. And anyway, there we go, gang. I just wanted to show you this this project, and I know there's somebody else out there that's got a 95 and has got the same weirdo problem. Pull those two terminals, both of them, not just one. Pull them both. It doesn't matter the sequence. You put them off, pull them off, put them back on, and just let it sit for 2-3 minutes. Put them back on, fire it up. And if you have to do it 3 or 4 times, but you should only have to do it once. So let's fire it up one more time. You know what's nice about this vehicle is the muffler and the catalytic converter. The exhaust is all in really good shape, and it fires up really nice now. But here's the step pad that was on the bottom. It was literally blown to bits, so I cut that out because I don't have a tetanus shot, right? Yeah. And it's got these are Pathfinder tires. The brand of the tire maker is Pathfinder, and those, to the best of my knowledge, are Toyota 4Runner rims. I did not know that those fit a Pathfinder, but the Pathfinder tires are very, very nice. I've paid a fortune for tires, and these ones, I think if you look online, they are like $200 a piece or something. It's just a screaming giveaway deal. My Nissan truck, the cam seals wore out, so I can't really drive that until I do the timing service and swap out those cam seals. That's a bit of a job. Luckily, I noticed it was really leaking fluid, and I thought, oh, it must be the power steering, but it was power steering, but not to that volume. It was the engine, and when I went to look at the engine, it was really low on oil, so luckily I've got saved on that. Oh, the fun never ends. Welcome to the world of old cars. But this got, yeah, it's got a blown out window. Luckily here they only do emissions. And the rumor is that I've talked to numerous emissions people that I would go to on tailpipe emissions is that because they're having problems with these emissions for tailpipe cars, because they're not OBD1, D2, that they want to do away with that and just do OBD1, D2 cars, and that's it. Well, that would be absolutely fantastic, because what a pain in the ass. It's more difficult to pass a car on a tailpipe emission than it is an OBD1, D2. That's just a fact. And those tailpipe emission testing machines are always failing. Truthfully, it's an obsolete technology. So, all right, gang. I got so many car projects and bike projects. So we'll catch you on next YouTube.